It's just another wasted day. There's something almost sacred about the forehead kiss. It's subtle, gentle, and often overlooked in today's hypersexualized culture, yet it carries an emotional weight that far exceeds its physical simplicity. But another wasted day, and that's because it doesn't just touch her skin. It touches her psyche. It reaches the little girl within her, the part of her that wants to feel safe before she feels sexy, secure before she opens, and emotionally held before she gives her body. What most men don't understand is this: women are biologically wired to assess emotional safety before surrender. Her nervous system is attuned to subtle cues. Tone, eye contact, energy, intention. She reads it all. So when a man leans in, not to take, but to gently place a kiss on her forehead, he bypasses lust and speaks directly to the limbic brain, the emotional command center. And what that kiss says to her is this: you're not just desired, you're valued. You're not just pretty, you're precious. That's power. But it's not loud power. It's quiet strength. It's the kind of masculine presence that doesn't need to impress because it already knows who it is. That's why the forehead kiss is so profound. It's non-threatening, non-demanding, yet deeply intimate. It says, I see you, without needing her to perform, entertain, or expose herself. You see, in many women, especially those who've been in toxic relationships, or environments where they've been sexualized without being emotionally seen, there's a quiet H for something deeper. They long to be known beyond the surface. They long to exhale. And a man who understands the power of emotional safety unlocks a side of her that most never even get to witness. So what is it that actually makes the forehead kiss so psychologically potent? It's because it signals non-sexual presence. Most kisses are forward moving. They want something, but this kiss, it pauses, it honors, it reassures. And that's rare. When a woman receives that kind of intentional affection, something shifts in her body. Her defenses lower, her breathing changes, her heart opens, because her brain is receiving the message that she's not being pursued as a means to an end, but treasured for her being. And let's be honest. In today's world, how often do women experience that? Most men have been taught to chase results, not presence, to escalate quickly rather than pace patiently. But the truth is, the feminine unfolds, she doesn't unlock. She isn't designed to respond to pressure. She responds to atmosphere. And the atmosphere that the forehead kiss creates is one of trust. When you hold her face gently, look into her eyes with no agenda, and kiss her forehead with reverence, you're telling her that you're a man who respects timing, who values her as a whole, and who understands that depth is earned, not demanded. And the paradox, that kind of man, the one who can make her feel emotionally protected, is the one she ends up craving physically. Not out of obligation, not out of manipulation, but because she chooses to surrender. Not because she's weak, but because she feels strong enough to let go. Because she knows that in your presence, she won't lose herself. She'll meet more of herself. The forehead kiss then becomes a ritual of emotional leadership. It tells you're not just here for pleasure. You're here for purpose. And that changes everything. Let me go one level deeper. Many women are walking around with a nervous system that's still in survival mode, even when smiling, even when dating, even when saying, I'm fine. Internally, many are still waiting for a man who can make them feel safe enough to stop performing, a man who can be soft with their softness, but solid with their chaos. And when you kiss her forehead, you momentarily silence that inner survival voice. You remind her body that it's okay to rest, that not all attention is predatory, that not all touch is a transaction. This is why women remember those small, non-sexual gestures more than grand sexual ones, because those are the moments that make her feel human again, not a fantasy, not a role, but a woman, layered, emotional, intuitive, and worthy of care. And if you can give a woman that experience, if you can kiss her forehead and mean it, not to get something, but to give something, you'll reach a part of her that she hides from the world. And the moment she feels safe to let you see that part, that's another wasted. That's when you'll experience connection that's not just physical, it's spiritual. So don't underestimate the forehead kiss. Don't brush it off as something cute or minor. Understand that it holds the key to something far more profound than seduction. It holds the key to her trust. And once you have that, everything changes. Here's what I want you to leave with. Intimacy starts with safety. Desire begins with trust. And a woman's deepest longings don't awaken when she's impressed. They awaken when she's understood. So the next time you're with her and you feel the urge to move fast, breathe, lean in, and place a kiss slowly, gently on her forehead, watch her eyes soften, watch her body relax, watch her soul say silently, thank you. Because in that moment, you're not just a man who kisses, you're a man who leads. And that's unforgettable. The neck is not just a place to kiss. It is a portal, a gateway between vulnerability and arousal, safety and surrender. And the man who understands that doesn't need to shout his masculinity. He whispers it through presence, timing, and touch. What many men overlook is that a woman's neck is biologically sensitive, neurologically wired, and deeply symbolic. It is one of the most erogenous zones on her body, not because it's overtly sexual, but because it's secretly sacred. It's the place where protection meets exposure. It's unarmored, unguarded, a space that she doesn't just give to anyone. You have to earn it. When you kiss a woman on her neck, you're entering territory most don't even know exists. Not because it's hidden physically, but because it's hidden emotionally. This is where the real depth of feminine surrender begins, not in her body, but in her nervous system. And the kiss to her neck is not just a flirtation. It's a signal, a psychological cue that says, I see your power, but I honor your softness. This kiss bypasses her logical mind. It quiets her inner critic, and it whispers directly to her primal feminine, the part of her that doesn't think or analyze or rationalize it, the part of her that feels, the part that remembers what it's like to melt, to be devoured emotionally, not just physically. And when a woman feels emotionally devoured, seen safe and desired, she will crave deeper intimacy, not just perform it. But here's the mistake most men make they rush the neck kiss. They treat it like a shortcut to lust instead of what it really is. A slow, sacred initiation. A kiss to the neck is not about getting her to react. It's about creating resonance. It's about entering the space between her breath and her heartbeat, meeting her there, not with force, but with feeling. What most don't realize is that her neck houses the vagus nerve, a vital part of her parasympathetic nervous system, which helps regulate calm, trust, and emotional safety. So when touched with intention and care, this area triggers deep relaxation. She softens, she breathes slower, her energy shifts. She's not just reacting to you, she's releasing into you. And that is rare in a world where women are often on guard, emotionally, physically, spiritually. It takes a certain kind of masculine energy to penetrate through the walls without using pressure. It takes groundedness. It takes restraint. It takes a man who understands that seduction isn't about conquering her body. It's about calming her fear, because only then will she bring you her deepest self. The neck kiss is where chemistry meets consciousness. It's where the primal becomes poetic, and the man who knows how to approach her there, with breath, with stillness, with subtle dominance, awakens a longing in her that has nothing to do with lust and everything to do with remembrance. She remembers what it feels like to be worshipped, to be chosen with depth, to be safe while being wanted. And let's not be mistaken. This doesn't mean she's weak. It means she's finally allowed to be in her feminine fully, because the feminine doesn't open through pressure. She opens through presence. And your lips on her neck, when done right, tell her, I want you, but I won't take from you. That distinction is everything. This kiss speaks to the part of her that's tired of being sexualized but never truly seen. The part that's had enough of shallow attention and now longs for devotion. And not in the way of obligation or codependence, but in the way of reverence. The kind of reverence that says, you are not a conquest. You are a mystery. You see, when a woman experiences a man who doesn't need to rush, she begins to trust. And when she trusts, she lets go. And when she lets go, she transforms. She becomes playful, radiant, magnetic, not because you changed her, but because you gave her the atmosphere to become. So next time you lean in to kiss her neck, pause. Don't dive in with hunger. Approach with hunger and honor. Brethren first. Let her feel that you're not just touching skin. You're touching soul. Let your energy speak before your lips ever do. Because in that moment, what she feels will matter more than what you do. And when she feels safe in your slowness, and safe in your presence, and safe in your leadership, her deepest desires won't need to be unlocked. She'll bring them to you willingly, fully, fiercely. Because when a woman's body feels protected, her heart becomes playful. And when her heart is playful, her desire is no longer guarded. It's generous. So don't kiss her neck to arouse her. Kiss her neck to awaken her. And let her know without saying a word that another wasted day, that you're not just here for her body, you're here for her being. That's the kind of intimacy that lingers. That's the kind of man she never forgets. The collarbone is one of the most overlooked regions of a woman's body and one of the most potent. It's not overtly erotic. It doesn't scream for attention like the lips or hips, but precisely because it's subtle, it holds immense power. It's not where lust begins, but where emotional access begins. And that distinction is everything. The collarbone sits just beneath the throat, a sacred channel of expression, communication, vulnerability. When a woman speaks, cries, or confesses something real, it all comes from this region. So when a man places a kiss here, deliberately, slowly, reverently, he's doing more than touching her skin. He's symbolically telling her, I honor what you hold back. He's communicating something few men ever learn to say with their presency. You don't have to be strong here. You're allowed way to feel. This isn't just romantic, it's psychological safety. Here's what you need to understand. A woman's body responds to emotional energy long before it responds to physical cues. If she feels emotionally exposed but not seen, she shuts down. If she feels emotionally vulnerable but not protected, she guards herself. But if she feels emotionally safe, if her nervous system senses, I can be soft here and it won't be used against me, her entire demeanor changes. She opens, and kissing the collarbone the right way taps directly into that dynamic. It doesn't rush, it doesn't demand, it doesn't perform, it invites. And that invitation, that's everything. Because you're not saying, give me more. You're saying, you don't have to give anything. I'm here to feel you, not to take from you. That shift from extraction to attunement changes her experience of you entirely. The slow kiss on the collarbone is not just sensual, it's respectful. It tells her subconscious, I see you, not just your curves or your sex appeal. I see the you behind all of that. And that level of perception is rare because most people don't realize that women want to be wanted, yes, but they also want to be witnessed. Let's talk about the psychological component. The collarbone lies at the edge of her vulnerability. When you kiss her there, especially slowly and with intention, you trigger the brain's oxytocin release, the bonding chemical. But unlike more obviously erotic areas, the collarbone does this through emotional signaling. It isn't another arousal. It's about trust. She feels it in her chest, literally and figuratively. She feels that she's being cherished in a place close to her heart, but not possessively. She feels a tenderness that tells her, you don't have to perform to be loved. You're already enough right now. That moment when she exhales into your touch, that's when she begins to let go. Now, this doesn't mean she becomes sexually submissive in a Klitschin way. No, what happens is far more profound. She becomes emotionally open, emotionally generous. Her guards come down, not because you forced them, but because you made them unnecessary. You replaced fear with presence. And when a woman feels that, her energy shifts from defense to desire, but only if you're authentic. If your kiss on the collarbone is rushed, if your touch is selfish, if your energy is goal driven, she will feel it instantly. Women are wired to detect emotional incongruence. They might not always name it, but they feel it. And when they do, the moment is lost. That's why this kind of kiss must be given slowly, with breath, reverence, with the kind of stillness that says, I'm not here to get, I'm here to give. That's when the magic happens, because something about that kiss whispers to the parts of her she's kept hidden. The girl who needed gentleness, the woman who grew strong because she had to, the parts of her that aged to be held, not handled, touched, not taken. That kiss tells her you can be all of that here. And she listens. She listens with her pulse, with her breath, with the subtle tilt of her head as she leans into you without even realizing she's doing it. You didn't make her want you. You made her feel safe wanting you. And that is an entirely different level of intimacy. So when you kiss a woman on her collarbone, do it another wasted day. Do it knowing you're not just kissing a body. You're kissing a threshold, a transition point between armor and openness. And how you treat that moment determines how deeply she'll trust you, not just with her body, but with her being, because that's what women truly desire. Not performance, not technique, not perfection, presence. The kind of presence that slows down enough to notice the invisible. The kind of presence that says, I don't just want you for what you give. I value are when you're not giving anything at all. That's the kiss that unlocks more than desire. It unlocks devotion. And when a woman feels that, she doesn't just want you. She chooses you again and again, out of need, out of knowing. There's a reason the forehead kiss hits differently. It's not about passion or seduction. It's about something much deeper: safety, reverence, and emotional depth. When you kiss a woman on the forehead, you're not just touching skin. You're speaking directly to her nervous system, her inner girl, her soul. And what you're saying is this: you're safe now. You don't have to be on edge with me. I see you and I won't hurt you. Most men completely underestimate how important that message is. See, we live in a world where women walk through life on high alert. Whether they admit it or not, most carry the weight of unspoken tension, hypervigilance, even. Experiences have trained them not to trust too quickly, not to feel too deeply, not to believe too easily. And this isn't just emotional, it's biological. A woman's amygdala, the brain's fear center, is more active than a man's. She scans for danger constantly, even in intimate situations. So when a man leans in and places a gentle kiss on her forehead, it short circuits that fear loop. Why? Because a forehead kiss doesn't ask for anything. It doesn't sexualize. It doesn't demand. It doesn't even pursue. It simply honors. And that kind of energy is rare. It catches her off guard. Not because it's aggressive, but because it's pure. It tells her, you don't have to impress me right now. You don't have to perform. You can just be. And make no mistake, that unlocks something in her, something primal, something buried. Because when a woman feels emotionally safe, genuinely, not manipulatively, she softens. Her walls don't shatter, they melt. And that melting is sacred. It's not submission. It's not weakness. It's the return of trust, the return of her natural feminine energy that's been hiding behind years of survival mode. Now, here's where it gets psychological. The forehead is connected to the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for reasoning, intuition, and future planning. So when you kiss her there, it's almost like you're calming that overactive mind. You're signaling, you don't need to overthink this moment. You're here with me. It's okay to feel. And the feeling she receives in that moment isn't one of arousal. It's one of being emotionally held, which, ironically, leads to something even more intimate than lust: bonding. Because let's be honest, anyone can make her body feel good, but very few know how to make her soul feel seen. That's the difference between a boy and a man. A boy takes, a man understands timing, energy, intention. A man knows that touch isn't just physical, it's spiritual. And the forehead kiss is the highest expression of that understanding. When you kiss her forehead, you're telling her, I want your presence more than I want your body right now. That distinction changes everything. It rewires her emotional association with you. Instead of categorizing you as another man trying to consume her, she begins to feel something revolutionary. I can trust this one. And that's the gateway to deep desire. Because true feminine desire isn't born in pressure, it's born in peace. You create that peace by being anchored in yourself. Your kiss on her forehead only has power if it comes from a place of grounded masculinity. If you're present, if you're not doing it to manipulate her or to follow a script, but because you genuinely want her to feel safe with you. That authenticity is what she responds to. A forehead kiss from a man who's grounded in his presence can break through emotional armor more effectively than any seduction tactic. It's the kind of moment that stays with her long after the kiss is over. It echoes. Because it's not just about what you did, it's about who you were being when you did it. So many women are starved of this kind of energy. They crave safety, but they're used to performing. They crave softness, but they've been taught that vulnerability is dangerous. When you offer a forehead kiss, you're challenging that narrative. You're saying your softness is not a liability, it's a gift. And I'm not here to exploit it. I'm here to honor it. That shifts everything. And let me tell you, when a woman feels honored, not just desired, but respected at her core, her attraction toward you deepens. Not because you tried to turn her on, but because you tapped into something most men ignore: her emotional world. And once you enter that space with integrity, she won't forget you. Not because of fireworks, but because of stillness. That's what the forehead kiss offers. It's the kiss that says, I'm not here to take. I'm here to be with you. And when she believes that, she lets you into a space few ever reach. The space where her deepest desires, her hidden tenderness, and her authentic femininity reside. That's not manipulation. That's maturity. So if you're going to kiss her forehead, do it with stillness in your body, presence in your eyes, and peace in your heart. Let her feel your strength, not through dominance, but through devotion. Because in that moment, you're not proving your power, you're proving your honor. And that's what makes her feel truly desired, not just for what she can give you, but for who she is without trying. That's the kind of kiss she remembers, and the kind of man she chooses over and over again.